Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, it's a YouTube tutorial on how to make custom FiveM clothing. So first of all, what you're going to want to do is you're going to go onto any web browser, doesn't matter what browser to be honest, and you're going to want to search up a website called toby.space, like so. Once you're on here, today we're going to be making a t-shirt. So it's called, well, t-shirt's called JBib. So if we're going to click on JBib here, and I want to do a male t-shirt. So I'm going to scroll down until I find a t-shirt that I like. You can copy me, or you could do something different, up to you. So this is a t-shirt that I want to do. Right, so next step, you're going to go onto a website like this, link will be in the description below, and you're going to download something called OpenIV. So OpenIV is something it's essential if you want to make FiveM custom clothing, because that's where you store all your files, and you can only open certain files on there. You can't open normal files or these clothing files on File Explorer. So once you've downloaded that, you're going to go back onto toby.space, and you're going to go to underneath the image. There's a link, like so. You're going to copy it all the way up until just before the underscore, and then the number, and then the underscore JBib. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy that, and then we're going to open OpenIV, and we're going to go to GTA, like so. In the top right where it says filter GTA, it's search bar, you're going to paste what you've got, and it's going to say no items match your search. Next step you're going to want to do is you're going to want to search mp3 mode _1, and this will appear on your screen. So once it's searched it up, right, so there's our first folder. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to look for the folder with the most amount of items. So here we've got a folder with 139 items in. If we can go down and see if we've got any more folders bigger than 137 items. So far, or 139, sorry. I think that's the biggest folder so far. That is the only folder, I believe. So if we click on that and click on this, if we go back to toby.space, on the link that you've copied, there's this bit, JBib _000. This is the bit that you're going to want next. What you're going to do is you're going to go onto OpenIV, onto the folder, and you're going to scroll down until you find the JBib _000, or whatever number your JBib is. So JBib 000 here. We double click on that just to make sure it is the correct one. Yep, this is the exact t-shirt that I would like to remake. So we can close that for now. What we're going to do is we're going to go onto our home screen, and we're going to drag that folder onto our home screen so we don't lose it. And then the next bit is you're going to go back onto OpenIV, but remember the JBib 000 bit. You're going to scroll down until you see diff. So there's going to be a diff in the middle of it. You're going to go all the way down until you find JBib again with a diff _000. Right, as you can see, there's three JBib _diff 000, A, B, and C. So if we click on A, that looks like this. B looks like this, and C looks like this. If you want to have a white t-shirt, I suggest you do the A. But if you want to have any other coloured t-shirt, you could do B or C. So now what we're going to do is we're going to drag this JBib _diff _000 A folder onto our home screen, like we did with the other folder. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our clothing folder. If you haven't made a clothing folder, I suggest you do it now. So once you're in that clothing folder, you're going to create a new one called, create a new one called, I don't know, let's just call it YT tutorial, right, like so. And in that YouTube tutorial folder, we're going to hold control, double click on both of these, and we're going to drag them into here like so. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to double click on the texture dictionary one, and it's going to look like this. What you're going to want to do is in the bottom left, you're going to click export selected, and you're going to go to your folder, which you've just made, which mine is called YouTube tutorial. So clothing YouTube tutorial, like so. And the name doesn't really matter, you can call it whatever you want. But here, the file type that you want to save as, you want to save it as a PNG. PNG, it has to be a PNG image, otherwise it won't work. So you're going to click save on that. And we're done with that. We're not done with OpenIV fully yet, but if I close that. Right, next thing you want to do, if you've got any editing browser that you'd like to do, you can go ahead and use that, but I'm going to use a website called photop.com. We're going to go to new project, and you could, it doesn't really matter the width or the height, but I suggest doing 1000 by 1000. Right, now what we're going to do, if you're using the same browser as me, if not, I'm not sure, but in the top left where it says file, you're going to put open and place, and you're going to go to your folder that you've made. So my one is called YouTube tutorial again, and the PNG image that you've just saved, you're going to drag that. Oh, oops. Yeah. You're going to drag that, or open it onto your own thingy. Right, maybe not. Maybe it's not going to work. Sorry about that, guys. It wasn't opening for some reason, but once hopefully you've got it on your the canvas, you're gonna make it fit the whole size of the canvas, so you don't see any white bits. So as you can see, if I can get it, there we go, lovely. Right, at the top, as you can see, we've got some arms. In the bottom left, you've got the back, and in the bottom right, you've got the front. So I'm going to want to change my t-shirt to a nice grey colour. So in the bottom left, I'm going to click this tool. It is called rectangle tool, I think. And I'm just going to drag it all the way across. Right, it's going to be black right now, but if I go to fill in the top left, and if I click on this black thingy here, I get the chance to change it. So I'm going to change it to a nice light grey, like that. Okay. But yeah, you're probably wondering, well, you can't see the template anymore. So you're going to click on the shape up here, and the opacity, you're going to change the opacity to however much you want, doesn't really matter. You could just change it to 0, or you could use this little eye thingy here. If you just click that, it will disappear. But yeah, and on the front, I'm going to add some text called collective clothing. You can do whatever you want on your t-shirt. I want to change that bit. Right, so I've got my font, and I'm going to have collective clothing on the back of my t-shirt. So if I want to resize that, make it nice and small, but make it appeal, you can change anything on the text. So if you click on the text layer here, if you right click, blending options, and you've got all of these to mess about with. So I could add some satin, I don't know, that doesn't make much of a difference, but if you want to add a 3D effect, maybe change the colour of it, a drop shadow, that doesn't look bad. I'll add a drop shadow actually. And I'm also going to have, I don't know, let's add, well actually let's add a circle. So if you just make a normal circle with your mouse, it's not going to look very even. So if I delete that, if you hold left shift and do a circle, it should make a perfect circle like that. And I want to change mine to no fill, but I want a black stroke, and I'm going to change the size of my stroke to 9.5. Doesn't look the greatest, but it'll do. Actually, I'm going to put the font inside of the circle. So if I can do, my PC is a bit laggy. Right, maybe not actually. If I could put that inside of the circle, like that, lovely. Resize it so it's exactly in the centre. There we go. And if I turn on the shape, it's going to look like this. So if I think I'm finished right now. If you're finished, you can pause the video and carry on. But if you've finished, if you go to the top left, File, Export as PNG. You could say it is a JPEG if you want, up to you. But personally, I use PNG. And if you save it as, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, you could call it, I don't know, shirt 1 or something like that. Ugh. Oriel, right. I want to call mine YouTube tutorial. So now, if you go into your File Explorer, if you go into your downloads, and oh, it's not there actually. Okay, right. In the top right, where it says YouTube tutorial, I'm going to click on the little folder here, and it's going to take me to exactly where it is. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on it, cut, and I'm going to go to my YouTube tutorial folder. I'm going to paste that in there like so, and now I'm completely done with File Explorer. So if I go back onto OpenIV, close that, I can see the YouTube tutorial which I've just made. If I double click on that, it will look exactly like that, how I made it. So now this is an important bit. If you go onto Texture Dictionary, double click on it, in top right there's something called Replace. If you can't see Replace, then you need to turn on Edit Mode, which is up here. So if you go onto Replace, if you go to your folder, mine is called YouTube tutorial, I'm going to double click on that and replace it like so. Make sure you click save in the bottom right, otherwise it's not going to work. So now that's saved. If you want to see what you've made, you go onto the drawable dictionary folder and double click on it. This is what I've made. I've made something that looks like this. It doesn't look the greatest because yeah, I rushed it, but you can design whatever you want. Trousers, shoes, hair, hats, bags, all of that stuff. But it's just a simple tutorial on a t-shirt. Thank you. Bye.